Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Crucible Chat. Yes, it's Saturday, it's that time of the week where I get to talk about whatever the fuck it is I want. My name is Mike, otherwise known as the Gadget Addict. Thank you for joining me for another week of this. In the background, you're going to see some awful COD Ghosts gameplay. It's really bad, getting quick scope to fuck. It actually starts out quite well, but I end up just losing my mojo halfway through it. But yeah, so this week, I suppose you'd be expecting me to talk about E3. Yeah, I'm not. YouTube is full of people disseminating the stuff from E3. I want to talk about something different this week. I want to talk about pre-orders, which is actually going to touch a little bit on E3, but that's not the point. So, this week, I started a thread on the Fextra Life forums, of which I'm a moderator, talking about pre-orders. And primarily that Dark Souls 3 was announced the weekend, well, it was properly shown off at E3. And Amazon UK had started taking pre-orders for it. And I simply started a thread that said, hey, look everyone, Amazon have got Dark Souls 3 up for pre-order, why don't you go in and pre-order it now? And the point of that is, well, the point I'm trying to make with that is, people then started going ballistic about the concept of pre-ordering. How they didn't there's no guarantee on what the quality of the game would be, yada yada yada, it was very stupid to pre-order, why would you do such a thing, why would you commit money to something that doesn't even have a release date yet, and all that bullshit. So this got my back up, really did, because the whole point of what the reason for posting it was to say that Dark Souls 3 was up for pre-order, but the way Amazon works is, and the reason why I posted the Amazon link rather than a link to anywhere else that's taken pre-orders is, with Amazon you don't actually put your money down when you pre-order something. They don't take the money until it's actually due out, until it actually gets dispatched. So that was the first thing that fucked me off, but the reason why I like to pre-order games from Amazon is because they frequently drop the price, like maybe an hour a day, to try and encourage people to pre-order, and if you pre-order early, or if you've got a pre-order, you pay the lowest price that your product's ever been. So, for instance, next week, Batman Arkham Knight comes out, which I'm very excited about, and I pre-ordered that ages ago. I pre-ordered that back in, I think, November. And since then, the price at one point dropped down to under £40. So I'm paying less than £40 for it, where if I went to Game and bought it, I would be paying 50 quid, or if I bought it on day of release, it would be, about 50 quid. Fucking snipers. So that was the point I was trying to make. And this actually started a huge debate, which I ended up having to lock and delete because it got out of hand. But for the first time ever, I kind of realised what people feel about pre-ordering. And I've never had an issue with pre-ordering. I've always pre-ordered the games that I want. Sometimes it's come to bite me in the arse with Destiny, although to be fair I did enjoy that for a little while. But there aren't a lot of games I've ever pre-ordered that I've not liked. The games that I've bought that I've not liked, I've kind of bought after the event. I've bought them later on. And I didn't realise that people felt this way about pre-orders. I thought everyone acted the same way that I do. Now, that's not to say that pre-orders themselves are innocent. I mean, there are some things that annoy me about pre-ordering. For instance, retailer exclusive pre-orders. That annoys the piss out of me. I mean, this week I pre-ordered Fallout 4, the Pip-Boy edition, because, well, yeah, I have to have that Pip-Boy. I would have expired if I didn't get it. But that meant I had to order it from Game. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Game, I like the stuff in the store that I go to, but I would have preferred to order it on Amazon. Simply enough because I'm lazy, and sometimes I really can't bother. The same happened with Bloodborne. I had to go to Game to get that. I had to actually take time out of my day to drive over to a shopping centre that I didn't want to go to pick up a game that I really wanted. But even then, that's not the biggest heartbreak. The biggest thing that annoys me with pre-orders is retailer-specific bonuses. And Batman is a prime example of this, because Bansol the Hedgehog linked me with a video today which showed all the different variations and pre-orders of Batman Arkham Knight. And I think there are something like 8 different versions depending on where you get it from. If you pre-order it, everyone gets the Harley Quinn DLC, which I don't really care about because it's challenge maps. I don't ever do the challenge rooms in those games. But yeah, everyone gets the Harley Quinn DLC. Then if you pre-order it from Amazon, you get a Batmobile skin. But if you pre-order it from Game, you get the Red Hood DLC, which again is challenge maps, which I'm not bothered about. If you pre-order it on the PC, you get some certain skins that aren't coming out on consoles, and stuff like that. There's loads of different versions of the game, and I don't see the point of it, because the game itself already has a fairly comprehensive season pass, which is about almost the same price as buying the game outright anyway. And then on top of that, there's all this DLC that is being kind of shifted around different retailers, which make it then harder. So it's like, where do I get the game from? What's going to be my best value for money? Which is why I just plonk with Amazon and says, yeah, look, I'll get it for cheaper. And there's been a few like that. Like the collector's editions, if I'm buying a big collector's edition, to be honest, I know I'm not going to get it much cheaper than what the recommended retail price is. So actually pre-ordering from somewhere like Game is really good because I can like trade in stuff against it and make it a bit cheaper. Like for instance, my Bloodborne thing, after the deposit and trading in a few things, I think I only actually paid about £40 for it. So that was good, as opposed to the $99.99 that was the retail price. And I'll probably do the same thing for the Pip-Boy edition of Fallout. I'll trade in a few things, and I'll get that for less than the £100 that it's going for. But at the end of the day, for digital stuff, it doesn't make sense to me. And I have talked so many times about DLC on this channel. I'm not actually going to go into... I don't want to go stray into the topic of like downloadable content and how it can irritate the fuck out of me. But it's more about the fact that, you know, if I have a loyalty to one store, sometimes I'm going to come off worse. For instance, most of my loyalty is to Amazon, just simply because it's easier. You know, I generally don't like going out in public and being around people. You know, people, no, don't like people. But pre-ordering, having to pre-order if you want a certain part of the game on the day of release, or you don't want to pay extra for it, because all that, for instance, going back to Batman, all this extra stuff, so that the Harley Quinn DLC, the Red Hood stuff, the Batmobile skins, the character skins, they're all either covered under the season pass or they're going to be DLC. So that means, you know, if I was particularly interested in playing as the Red Hood, I would have to buy that later down the line or get it from Game. And so, you know, if I wanted the prototype Batmobile, which I'm getting, but, you know, if I wanted it and I'd pre-order it from Game, it's just I would have to buy it separately and stuff like that. It just makes life so fucking confusing. Which is why I've got and I've said it before, I'll go back to the ultimate deep respect for CD Projekt Red, who made The Witcher. You know, The Witcher 3, there were two versions of it. One was the standard edition, which came with all this extra shit. You know, 16 bits of DLC, soundtrack, map, all that kind of thing. And that was just your standard $49.99, as current gen games go, or 30 quid if you can put it on the PC. So that was the standard edition. And then there was the collector's edition, which had the big statue. But both editions of the game still came with the same game content. You know, you didn't have to pre-order at a certain shop to get, like, a different haircut for Geralt, or different armor, or you know, stuff like that. It just, everything came in the same package, and you just had to decide whether you wanted to pay the normal price for the normal game, or if you want to shell out an extra 100 quid and get the big fuck-off statue. And believe me, if I had the money, I would have got the big fuck-off statue. But the point is, the game that you get in both packs is the same. Now, I know for a fact that Fallout is probably going to have a season pass, and I've got a distinct feeling that there's probably going to be some pre-order bonuses down the line as well. I mean, already with the Pip-Boy edition, I'm getting the game-exclusive bobblehead thing because I pre-ordered within a certain amount of time. Didn't get there quick enough to get a t-shirt, but to be fair, those t-shirts never come in my size, so I'm not really that bothered by it. It worries me the way publishers are doing this thing, because I know for a fact that possibly Dark Souls 3 being published by Namco Bandai, and they're getting worse about DLC and stuff like that, and I'm worried that when it comes to it, I'll be getting the collector's edition, no doubt, but I'm really determined that I don't want to have to be forced to pick a retailer over another one because of what comes with it. You know, in an ideal world, I want to do what I did with Dark Souls 2, which was pre-order the collector's edition as soon as it came available. I ended up getting it, instead of the £100, it was £75 that I got it for, because at some point they dropped their price down on it. And I just wanted to have it delivered on the release date to either my house or to my work. I mean, how hard is that? Really, I mean, how difficult do they have to make it for this kind of thing? So, but I think the crux of the matter is, I didn't realise people were so against pre-ordering. I mean, I've pre-ordered everything I want this year. I mean, I've got Batman. Next one up after that is Until Dawn, then Fallout, then Dark Souls. So yeah, it's just like it reminds me of when I need to pay for things as well. Not that I would ever forget when games are coming out, but you know, it lets me plan my year quite happily. Anyway, I'm coming to the end of the gameplay here. As you've seen, it was utterly awful. But let me know what you think in the comments below about pre-ordering and the various deals that you can get, or how retailers just change things about, and let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Let's get a debate going in the comments. Look at this fucking sniper. Ugh. God almighty, this map is awful on ghosts. Anyway, thank you for watching, and good night.